Over 60. Never eat bananas with these three foods. It can cause serious health problems. If that headline grabbed you, good. I want to be clear from the start. Bananas are a healthy, convenient fruit. But if you're over 60, especially if you have reduced kidney function or you're taking certain medications, combining bananas with a few specific foods can raise your risk for problems. I've worked with older adults for more than 20 years, and I've seen small, everyday choices trip people up. Today, I'll walk you through the 3 banana pairings to be cautious about, why they matter physiologically, who's most at risk, real patient examples I've seen, and practical, safer alternatives and recipes so you can still enjoy fruit without unnecessary worry. Before we get into the 3 foods, a quick question. Where are you watching from, and how often do you eat bananas? Share that in the comments. I read every reply. Now let's talk about why this even matters. As we age, our bodies handle water and minerals differently. Several changes happen slowly over decades, and they matter for how we process potassium and sodium. Your thirst signal becomes less sharp. You don't feel dehydrated as easily. Your kidneys, which filter waste and balance minerals, don't work quite as quickly as they used to. Even small declines in kidney function can make it harder to remove extra potassium from the blood. On top of that, many older adults take medications for blood pressure, heart conditions, or other issues that can raise blood potassium levels or change how the body retains sodium and water. Put together, these shifts mean minerals that used to be handled easily can build up and affect the heart and muscles. Potassium is one of those minerals. It's essential for nerve and muscle function, including the rhythm of the heart. But when potassium in the blood gets too high, a condition called hyperkalemia, people can feel weakness, numbness, or tingling and experience irregular heartbeats. In severe cases, very high potassium can lead to dangerous heart rhythm problems. Sodium, on the other hand, influences blood pressure by affecting fluid balance. Eating a lot of sodium can cause water retention and raise blood pressure, which places extra stress on the heart and kidneys. For most people, eating bananas or a salty snack is fine, but for older adults with slower kidneys or those taking drugs that increase potassium, certain combinations can raise risk. Now let's move into the 3 specific foods to be cautious about eating with bananas. For each one, I'll explain the mechanism, who's most at risk, and 2 practical ways to reduce risk. I'll also share brief real-world stories from people I've worked with, paraphrased to protect privacy, so you can see how these situations play out. First, cucumbers, especially cucumber-heavy smoothies or salad bowls paired with bananas. This may sound surprising because cucumber feels light and watery,
but cucumbers do contain potassium. When you blend a banana together with a large amount of cucumber, or a few slices, plus other potassium-rich ingredients, you can create what I call a potassium stack, several sources of potassium eaten in one sitting that add up quickly. One patient I'll call Sarah made a morning smoothie with banana, cucumber, and a big handful of spinach. She felt a sudden weakness and palpitations after a few days, and her doctor's blood work showed higher than normal potassium. She wasn't in immediate danger, but it was enough to prompt medication review and dietary adjustments. Who's at risk with banana plus cucumber? People with reduced kidney function, people on medications that slow potassium excretion, ACE inhibitors or ARBs for blood pressure, potassium-sparing diuretics, and those whose blood tests already show potassium near the high end of normal. Even mild dehydration makes it harder for the kidneys to excrete potassium, so if you're not drinking enough water, the risk increases. Practical mitigations for this pairing. 1. Space them out. Instead of a single large smoothie that contains both a whole banana and a full cucumber, have the banana as a mid-morning snack and the cucumber later as a salad or in a low-potassium beverage. Spreading potassium sources across the day gives the kidneys more time to process them. 2. Adjust portion sizes. Use half a banana or a small amount of cucumber in the smoothie, and bulk the drink with lower potassium liquids such as water, unsweetened almond milk, or a small amount of low-sodium broth. Also, stay well hydrated. Mild dehydration makes potassium clearance more difficult. Second, spinach and other high-potassium leafy greens, when used in large quantities, again, most likely in smoothies or large salads combined with bananas. Spinach is nutritious, but it's higher in potassium than many other greens per serving. When people blend several cups of spinach into a fruit smoothie that also has a banana, they can unintentionally consume a large potassium load. Another case I remember involved the same Sarah. Her daily green monster smoothie rotated between spinach and kale with banana as the base. Over time, her potassium trended upward on routine labs. The doctor worked with her to modify her greens in portions, and the potassium normalized. Who's at risk with banana plus spinach? The same groups as before: those with impaired kidney function, people on medications that raise potassium, and those who regularly consume multiple potassium-rich items in one meal. Also, people who eat large smoothies every day without rotating ingredients are more likely to accumulate higher potassium exposure. Ways to make this pairing safer. 1. Rotate greens. Replace some spinach servings with lower potassium options such as iceberg lettuce or arugula in the blender. You'll still get fiber and flavor without the same potassium density. 2. Portion control and ingredient swaps. Use a smaller banana or half a banana, measure spinach to 1 cup or less, and add other ingredients that are lower in potassium, fresh berries, cucumber in small amounts, or a splash of apple juice or apple slices for sweetness. You can also lightly steam greens instead of blending them raw for a cooked side dish. Cooking can reduce some mineral content depending on method, especially if you discard the cooking water, though this isn't always practical for smoothies. The main idea: don't combine several high potassium foods in one sitting on a daily basis if you're at risk. Third, pickled or very salty foods eaten at the same time as bananas. This pairing is less obvious because bananas aren't salty, but sodium and potassium interact in ways that matter to blood pressure and fluid balance. High sodium intake causes the body to retain water and can raise blood pressure. When you add a high potassium food like a banana at the same meal, you're asking the body to manage both minerals at the same time. For someone with diminished kidney function or unstable blood pressure control, that can be stressful. I remember Jack, who enjoyed pickles and salty crackers alongside fruit. After a few weeks, his blood pressure readings climbed higher than usual. His physician pointed to a combination of high-sodium snacks at meals and his potassium-sparing medication as likely contributors. After switching to a low-sodium pickle option and spreading potassium-containing foods through the day, his readings improved. Who's at risk with banana plus pickles salty foods? Anyone with hypertension, heart disease, chronic kidney disease, or anyone taking medications that affect potassium, as well as those who habitually eat highly salted meals. The danger here is not that the banana itself causes sodium retention. Rather, the combination can complicate the body's fluid and mineral balance. How to lower risk with this pairing? 1. Choose low-sodium or no-salt pickles. Homemade quick pickles using vinegar, water, and a fraction of the salt are easy to make and much lower in sodium. A single commercial pickle spear can contain more than 300 milligrams of sodium. Switching to a low-sodium version or using a smaller portion helps a lot. 2. Break up the meal. Don't serve bananas as part of the same plate as very salty snacks. Enjoy the banana at a different time, or pair it with fresh fruit or unsalted nuts. If you like sweet and sour combos, try apple slices with a small smear of nut butter and a dash of cinnamon instead of a banana with a salty side. Those are the 3 pairings to watch: cucumbers in big blended portions with bananas, spinach or other high potassium greens in large smoothie servings with bananas, and pickled or salty foods eaten at the same time as bananas.
For each, the core principle is the same. Be mindful of stacking multiple sources of potassium or combining potassium-rich foods with very salty meals if you have reduced kidney function or you're on medications that affect potassium. Now, because you don't need to give up bananas, they're a great source of fiber, potassium, vitamin B6, and they're easy to chew and digest. Here are safer swaps and banana-friendly pairings that let you enjoy the fruit while protecting your health. I'll also give you recipes and snack ideas that work well for older adults. Safer pairings and swaps. Banana plus apple or pear. Both apple and pear are lower in potassium than banana and pair nicely for texture and sweetness. Slice a small banana and half an apple with a sprinkle of cinnamon for a snack. Pears add gentle fiber and make the starchiness of banana feel lighter. Banana plus berries. Berries are lower in potassium per cup than many tropical fruits. A small banana with a handful of blueberries or strawberries in a bowl, topped with a spoonful of Greek yogurt, is a balanced choice. Banana plus unsalted nuts or seeds. A few walnuts or pumpkin seeds add protein and healthy fats, slow digestion, and make the snack more satisfying without adding sodium or too much potassium. Staggered smoothies. If you love green smoothies, prepare 2 smaller drinks across the morning. For example, a half banana green smoothie with 1 cup of arugula and a 1/4 cup of spinach first, then a cucumber-based hydrating drink later without banana. Or alternate days, banana smoothie day and green smoothie day, rather than stacking both every single day. Vinegar and digestion. Apple cider vinegar diluted in water can help digestion and be used as a tonic in small amounts. If you enjoy a vinegar-based dressing with pickles, use diluted cider vinegar with herbs and very low salt for taste, and avoid pairing that same dressing with a high potassium fruit at the exact same time. 3 practical recipes and snack ideas you can try. Gentle morning bowl. Slice half a banana, add half a small apple, thinly sliced, a handful of fresh blueberries, a sprinkle of ground flaxseed, and a tablespoon of plain Greek yogurt. This keeps potassium moderate while offering fiber and protein for stable energy. Low potassium mini smoothie. Blend half a banana, half cup unsweetened almond milk, half cup cucumber slices, a 1/4 cup frozen blueberries, and a few ice cubes. This is hydrating, smaller in volume, and lower in overall potassium than combining a whole banana with a large handful of spinach. Low-sodium quick pickles, small batch. Slice cucumbers and place in a jar with 1 cup water, half cup vinegar, 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt, or less, experiment, a garlic clove, and fresh dill. Refrigerate for at least 24 hours. These are lower in sodium than store-bought options, and you can control the salt. Use a small portion as a crunchy side rather than a whole spear loaded with sodium.
Beyond recipes, here are practical daily habits that help reduce risk. Space high-potassium foods through the day instead of eating several in one sitting. Drink water regularly. Dehydration reduces kidney clearance of potassium. Read labels. Many prepared foods, condiments, and pickles are surprisingly high in sodium. A single commercial pickle spear can contain more than 300 milligrams of sodium, so be mindful of portion sizes. Keep a simple food log for a week if you suspect your diet may be contributing to symptoms. Note what you eat, medications, and any symptoms like weakness or palpitations. Now, how to identify if you might be experiencing high potassium? Watch for early warning signs, such as unusual muscle weakness, a sensation of numbness or tingling in your hands and feet, or palpitations, the feeling that your heart is racing, fluttering, or skipping beats. If you notice these symptoms, check with your healthcare provider right away. Chest pain, severe shortness of breath, or fainting are emergency signs. Call emergency services if those occur. For most mild symptoms, contacting your primary care provider or cardiologist quickly to review medications and arrange a blood test is the right step. Speaking of medications, you should be aware of common drug classes that can raise potassium or change how your body handles sodium and water. ACE inhibitors and ARBs, often used for high blood pressure or heart disease, can increase potassium levels. Potassium-sparing diuretics, sometimes used in heart failure or for swelling, have an obvious name: they reduce potassium excretion. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, can also affect kidney function and alter potassium handling in some people. I won't list every drug here, and I won't tell you to stop taking anything. Instead, use this as a prompt to have a conversation with your prescriber. Here's a short script you can bring to your next appointment or phone call with your doctor or pharmacist. Read it aloud or copy it into a note. Hi, I'm over 60 and I often eat bananas. I'd like to check whether my diet and current medications could raise my potassium or affect my blood pressure. Can you tell me if my medications increase potassium? Could we test my blood potassium and kidney function? If my potassium is high, what dietary changes would you recommend? Is there anything I should avoid eating with bananas? Should I see a dietitian for a more detailed plan? That set of questions helps your clinician give focused guidance and decide if lab tests are appropriate. In many cases, a simple blood potassium test is all that's needed to reassure you or to trigger a plan for adjustments. Let's add a couple more patient-style vignettes to make these ideas concrete. These are based on patterns I've seen, paraphrased for clarity. Mary is 72 and loved morning smoothies. She used a whole banana, a large handful of spinach, and a scoop of almond butter every day.
On routine labs, her potassium was at the high end of normal. Her doctor didn't stop any medications, but asked her to reduce the spinach to 1 cup once or twice a week and to switch to mixed berries more often. Within a month, her potassium moved to a safer range, and she felt more energetic. Tom is 68, takes an ACE inhibitor, and enjoys salty snacks, pretzels and pickles, after dinner along with a piece of fruit. His blood pressure had become harder to control. With a small change, reducing pickles, choosing low-sodium snack options, and having fruit earlier in the day, his blood pressure readings improved and he avoided an unnecessary medication change. Richard is another person I worked with who used to combine many healthy things together because he wanted maximum benefit. He read that raw vegetables and a bit of fruit were best, so he ate carrots, cucumbers, and an apple together every day. He developed digestive discomfort and fluctuations in blood sugar. A dietitian helped him space vegetables and fruits, steam some vegetables for better tolerance, and incorporate protein at meals. The broader lesson is this: sometimes combining many good foods all at once can have unintended effects. Spacing and balance matter. A few more practical tips that seniors and caregivers can implement today. If you take blood pressure or kidney medications, ask your clinician to include a potassium level on your next routine labs. That's a reasonable, low-cost check that provides clear data to guide diet. Keep a list of your medications and bring it to clinic. Pharmacists can quickly flag drugs that interact with potassium. When eating out, request no added salt or choose fresh fruit plates instead of combining fruit with salty sides. If you enjoy smoothies for convenience, use smaller portions and avoid adding multiple high potassium ingredients in one cup every day. Alternate smoothie days with other options like yogurt with fruit or whole fruit with a handful of nuts. If you like pickles, try quick homemade versions with much less salt, or eat one small piece rather than a whole spear, and pair it with low potassium foods. Before I wrap up, let me summarize the safest, most actionable checklist. Know your risk. Kidney disease, heart disease, or medications like ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics increase risk. Watch for symptoms: muscle weakness, numbness or tingling, palpitations. Contact your clinician if these appear. Seek emergency care for chest pain, fainting, or severe shortness of breath. Don't stack potassium. Avoid combining a whole banana with large portions of other high potassium foods, large amounts of spinach, or multiple potassium-rich vegetables in one sitting. Space high potassium items across the day and stay well hydrated. Cut back on sodium at the same meal if you plan to eat potassium-rich foods. Choose low-sodium pickles or smaller portions of salty snacks.
Ask your doctor for a blood potassium test if you take relevant medications or if you have kidney disease. Use safe swaps: banana with apple, pear, berries, or unsalted nuts. Smaller smoothies with mixed lower potassium ingredients. You don't have to be perfect. For many healthy older adults, the occasional combination of banana and one of these foods won't cause harm. The goal is to avoid routine, daily stacking that pushes potassium or sodium into a risky range, particularly if your kidneys are aging or you're on medications that affect mineral balance. If this message has been helpful, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and how often you eat bananas. I read every reply. And if you'd like more practical, age-friendly nutrition guidance, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our weekly tips designed to keep you strong and safe after 60. Finally, a quick medical safety reminder. This video provides general information and is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have kidney disease, heart disease, or take medications that affect potassium or blood pressure, check with your doctor or pharmacist before making dietary changes. Ask them about getting a blood potassium level checked and about how to safely adjust your diet. Small changes, spacing foods, reducing sodium, moderating portion sizes, can make a big difference, and your healthcare team can help you tailor those changes to your specific needs. Take care, stay curious about your diet, and remember, simple, thoughtful adjustments can protect your heart and kidneys while letting you enjoy the foods you love.